Hi everyone, and welcome to my first video on understanding men and understanding women. I'm so delighted that you're here with me today, and as you may know from my other videos, I usually channel twin flame messages and talk about twin flames a lot, and so I want to connect the dots a little bit. You know, if we were doing one of those cool drawings when you're a kid, I want to kind of connect the dots of, understanding men and understanding women in the twin flame journey. And so the first thing I want to say is that for many, many twin flames, there is this feeling of understanding that we have a divine masculine and feminine energy within us. So this is a poignant factor for both men and women, that we both, have the ability to be kind of masculine or be feminine, and that the roles predominantly are, well, in the modern world, they've kind of been changing a little bit around, where there are many, many females or women who are being more masculine than they are being feminine. And then you could also say that there are men who are being feminine or in their feminine energy as opposed to being masculine. So that can also happen as well. But I'm going to not get mixed up with this whole gender thing. Take gender how it resonates for you, because obviously that can be a topic all on its own. Some people can say that they are a divine masculine in a woman's body, and some will say that they are a divine feminine in a man's body. So just flip it how it works for you, and don't get too caught up in the labels, because it's only really there for explanation. And the first thing I want to talk about today is the way men think as opposed to the way women think. Okay, so forget divine masculine energy, divine feminine energy just for now, and let's break it down into the human version of man versus woman. Or instead of saying versus, we could say man connecting to woman. All right, so I don't want to say versus anymore, because it sounds like we're having this kind of slogging match of tennis against one another, and we're just trying to hit each other as hard as we can with each ball. And I don't want to do that, because that's what happens with Harry and Charlotte. And Harry can quite often piss Charlotte off, to put it bluntly. All right. So I want to do a little drawing, and I'm famous for my brilliant drawings. I'm great at drawing stick figures. Okay. So I've already segregated men and women here, but I'm not trying to. In these videos, I'm trying to bring men and women together so that they can have a better understanding of one another. And so the first thing I want to talk about is men and how they think. Because I guess if you're a woman watching today and you understand a little bit more about how a man thinks, then that's going to help you. All right. So let's do men first, and then we'll move on to women, and then we can kind of understand a little bit more about them. Okay. So I'm just still drawing my little picture here. Hopefully you can understand it. I'm a really bad drawer, so it's kind of funny. And what else? One more little thing over here. Okay. and so on and so forth. We'll be fine with this drawing. Okay, so here is the way men think. Wow, you didn't think it could be that simple, did you? Just a few little boxes here for you to understand. Up in the top corner there is supposed to be a baseball cap. It doesn't really look like a baseball cap. It was supposed to be, though. This might be your the man's brother. This might be his favorite TV show on the sports channel. This might be his mother, and this might be his cousin. And then we could fill in all these other little blanks with the other people in his life and work and whatever other subjects there are in his life. So there might be work, Aunt Betty, Mum, cousin Cheryl, golf, baseball, his favorite car. Okay, so we've got these little compartments for each thing. All right, so men have a way of compartmentalizing every topic. Okay, so if they're talking about golf, let's say they're talking about golf. Okay, they're not going to connect golf to anything else but golf, because golf in its own right is golf. Okay, so then if they've got a favorite car, let's say their favorite car is, I don't know, a Mercedes Benz, they would have all the information stored in a little compartment all about Mercedes Benz, which would be different if they were talking about Uncle Ron's tractor, because there's another compartment for Uncle Ron's tractor. Let's just say as an example. Now, let's move to women just for a minute. So women are going to have all these topics as well. You know, their cousin Elena, or their Uncle Bob, or mum, or work, or the kids, or their, I don't know, the spare room that they're doing up at the moment, or those curtains that they want to buy, you know, etc., etc. Okay. So what women do, without even realizing, and you're going to love my picture, is that they can join all of these topics together. All right, so I could keep drawing here and just move from topic to topic to topic to topic to topic. Okay, so as an example, if two women are sitting together, you know, they haven't seen each other for a while, they might start on the topic of religion, let's say, and they might say, yeah, well, you know, I understand this about religion, or I understand this about religion, and so they'll get into this topic. And then the other woman might say, oh, that reminds me, I went to you know, that curtain store last week, and I bought these beautiful pink and purple curtains, which are going to totally match my new room that I'm doing up. And then she might say, but my husband Jeffrey, he's not really enthused about that because he's been watching baseball a lot recently, and it's, you know, tournament time or whatever, and he's just so taken with that. And so she's connected the dots to first religion, and then she was talking about the curtains and the curtain place she went to, then her husband, and then baseball. Okay, so she's able to link all of these different topics in one go. Whereas if men are talking or thinking in general, they're thinking about one topic. You know, if they're at work, they're generally at work. They may go into the bathroom and have a break, you know, like a bathroom break, and think about their beloved, or I don't know, another topic. But then when they go back to work, they're thinking about work. You know what I mean? They don't just, you know, if I keep drawing on this woman one here, which I love women because I am one, of course, but we can end up with this, this massive, maze of topics that women can talk about. And this is why women, if you've ever been to a women's party or something where it's just women and they might be, I don't know, having a Loverware or a Tupperware or some kind of party where they're getting together and it's just women and they can talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and there's this never ending thing where, you could be doing each other's makeup, and then you're talking about the lipstick that you want to buy, and then, oh wow, we don't like that color because in primary school that color really turned you off when that kid in the playground, had that color t-shirt on, and that color t-shirt, you'd never buy that in a million years. And then, oh, but grandma's got a t-shirt like that and she looks terrible in it or something, right? And so on and 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 on the conversation can go. And so it's constantly changing trajectories all of the time. And so what can happen now is that when a woman is speaking to a man, she can flip around from all these different subjects, and she might, as an example, say, "Excuse me, Jeff, have you put the trash out?" And so Jeff, the man, will be thinking about, has he put the trash out? He might be focused on his baseball game on the TV, and he might say, "No, I haven't yet, but I'm going to in a minute," or something. And so then the woman, she might get angry and say, "Well, I told you that the trash needs to be out by 6 p.m. because if it's not out by 6 p.m., what can happen is sometimes there's more trash and it, the other neighbors are putting their bins out on time and it looks like we don't care. And then after that, I feel like I'm not organized because if you don't put it out on that time, my whole schedule seems out because I really like to organize this. And then, I'm feeling also upset about my mother because she rang," and on and on she'll go, perhaps, if she's in a grumpy mood or tired or something, right? And this is because, with no disrespect to women are cool, and I love talking to women because I know that I'm always going to be able to have a conversation for a long time. It can be a never-ending conversation if you want it to be, and that's why women are so cool. Women seem to have this unending amount of energy to express their feelings on certain topics. And men, on the other hand, like to conserve their energy, and so they compartmentalize different topics. So really, all in this scenario, when she asked the man, "Did you put the trash out?" and he said, "No, not yet, but I'm going to," the conversation could really end there because in his mind, he's compartmentalized. There's my trash bin there. He's compartmentalized that, and he's been able to say, "No, I haven't yet, but I will in a minute." So as soon as his baseball game finishes, he can move on to the trash. And then as soon as the trash is done, he can move on to maybe getting ready for bed. And that's another compartmentalizing place for him. So women aren't always as crazy as what I made them sound out to be, because that wasn't the point. The point was that they can move from topic to topic to topic to topic to topic and just go around in this crazy scribble event. And men don't do that. Men have, men like to stay on one topic, so they'll, if they're talking with guys, they'll discuss the topic with the other men and then they'll move on to the next topic. So if they're talking about baseball, they'll finish talking about baseball and then they'll move on to, "Oh, did you hear that Uncle Gary's got a new car? It's a Lamborghini and apparently it's red." And then they'll have a conversation about that. Okay, so this is one of the first places where men and women can have a disconnect, is because women change the subject and men are having a hard time following exactly what the point is. Because they're so logical, they like to get to the point. Okay, if we're talking about Uncle Sam, and his new girlfriend, let's talk about Uncle Sam and his new girlfriend. If we're talking about, what foods you like to eat, let's talk about what foods you like to eat. Let's not bring Aunt Bessie in and your mother in, and that you went and bought shoes at the at the shop, all in the same sentence, because then the compartments aren't supposed to join up with one another. In a man's mind, they're not supposed to join up. They're supposed to stay in their compartments. Okay. So that's the first video on communication and how women come from, I would say, without meaning to be disrespectful, but they can, in fact, it's a compliment really to women, because they have a scattered way of thinking. So they can scatter their thoughts in all directions and join them together. While even while they're brushing their teeth, they can maintain a conversation about, how their mother pissed them off when they rung them up and should have, perhaps rung them at the right time or whatever. You know what I mean? They can have a conversation within a conversation about something that's not related to the conversational topic. And they can do that while doing another action. So they could be gardening and talking about, how they went to their cousin's wedding last fall. You know what I mean? So just know that this difference is huge when talking to a man. So if you're a woman talking to a man and you're doing all of this join the dots kind of talk, that works great for the women in your life, but it doesn't work so hot for the men in your life, because they actually can be confused by it. And because they're logical, they're kind of wondering what the point is. What's the point in joining the curtain place with your grandma, with your mother, with baseball, with the Lamborghini, with everything? And so, in a way, women can become these creatures of mystery to men, because they really don't know what the woman is trying to, what's the point of the conversation? Are you trying to tell me that you had a great place at a great time at the curtain place when you picked the curtains? Or are you pissed off with Aunt Bessie? Or are you trying to maybe tell me a little bit more about the gardening that you did? They just want to know the point to your conversation, I should say. So I hope this video is helpful. When you're speaking to a man, try and stay on each topic instead of, darting from one to another and joining all the dots together. So if you want to talk about your mother and how she treated you in a certain way, or start with that topic and then finish that topic, and then move on to how when you went to someone's wedding that this happened, and then move on to the curtains. You know what I mean? Don't try and join them all together, because then the man really doesn't know what he should be focused upon within the conversation. Okay. So I think that's a really good first video for this series, Understanding Men and Understanding Women. And this also relates to the twin flame journey, because, wow, there are men and women twin flames, all right? So let me know if this resonates for you, and tell me some of your experiences that you've had when speaking to, another person from the opposite sex of you, and how they may have misunderstood or even got annoyed with you, or how you maybe perhaps got annoyed with them because they're not understanding you. Perhaps you're the female and you were talking about all these different topics, and then the guy you were talking with kind of said, I need to go now. And that probably wasn't because he was bored with the topic. It's just that he didn't know which topic to focus upon, and so he got a little bit flustered. Alrighty. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you real soon for another topic video. I'm going to try and upload a few a week, so this will end up being a big playlist for you on understanding men and understanding women. Okay? Bye everyone. Have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening or morning, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.